Hi guys, welcome back. Okay, again, we're just going to carry on with the conversation about your handstand walks. Okay, so with your handstand walks, obviously in the last video we had a chat about the kind of positioning you want to get comfortable in. We also want to spend some time, or we want to talk about getting comfortable kicking up into a handstand, getting confident upside down when you don't have the wall to support you. Okay, so the key thing, especially when you're first learning your handstand walks, is to not have that kind of fear of falling out of your handstand, okay? Because a lot of the time that leads to people kicking up, but not giving it enough momentum on the way over, so you end up falling straight back down before you've really had a chance to walk, okay? Which obviously doesn't really teach you too much, all right? So what you want to get comfortable doing is kicking, and if your legs go too far, being confident to turn away, okay? So that you can get your feet back down onto the floor. And that's going to give you the confidence to kick as hard as you need to start walking on your hands. Okay, obviously when you do go into a full handstand walk, that's where you want to see your legs, so your feet slightly in front of your hands. Okay, so your center of mass moves forward, and that means when you walk in, it's going to help pull you forward naturally, okay, using your own momentum, as opposed to having to work really hard to take steps forward. All right, again, you know, if we're going to apply that to a workout scenario where you're having to do handstand walks, so let's say it's an open workout where you're having to do handstand walks with something like deadlifts, okay, when you're fatigued, you want to make sure that your handstand walks are using as little effort as possible, okay? So obviously being confident, kicking up hard enough to generate some momentum is really important when it comes to getting to grips with your handstand walks, okay? So always make sure you practice that spin out so you don't overbalance. Okay, once you got to grips with that, okay, then obviously staying on the spot, but just practicing kicking up to the point where you feel like you're about to walk, okay, again is an important skill so that you have a good idea as to how hard you need to kick. All right, again, when we talk about your handstand walks, you want to be nice and consistent in your pace. A lot of the time what can happen, especially as you get into grips with it, is you kick up really hard, your hands are going to move really fast to catch up with yourself, all right, but then you have no control over the rest. So you might end up doing, say, 3 to 5 feet, because that's about as much momentum as you've got from your kick, and then you slow down and you start to feel like you're falling backwards. Okay, so having a good understanding of that balance point is really important. So kicking up hard enough to let your feet come over, but doing that under control, knowing how hard you need to kick to do that is quite an important skill to master in your handstand walks consistently. And then another drill, which is really useful, okay, for this, again, for getting that balance point, is again going into a chest facing wall handstand hold, okay, but from there, just bringing your foot, one foot at a time, slightly away from the wall, okay, so you get back into that balanced position, okay. Once you feel balanced with one foot away from the wall, then obviously you can remove the second and try and hold that there, okay, or if you feel confident, then when you're in that position, you've got both feet off the wall, you can start to walk, okay? And again, that's a really good exercise, walking away from the wall from being in a handstand, because it teaches you how far you need to move your feet forward to generate enough momentum to walk from a standing start, okay? So as opposed to being on the floor and kicking straight up into a handstand and using that momentum you get from your kick, you're having to create that momentum yourself to start moving away from the wall, okay? And it's going to give you a real awareness as to what position you need to get into and how far your feet need to come forward to let you do that, okay? So there's another couple of drills for you guys. That's where we use them. Have a go, okay? As always, send us some videos if you need any tips. Enjoy practicing.